Hey guys, for the past few weeks I've been working on a Battlefield 2042 guns tier list, and now that it is ready, I'm going to show you how I personally think the guns can be ranked. Feel free to put this in the background. If you disagree with me or you think I made a mistake, tell me about it in the comments. And if you do not know what a tier list is, it's where you rank from S tier, which is the highest tier, to F tier, the worst. Anyway, on with the tier list of my arbitrary opinions. We're going to be starting off with the SMGs, which is and the first one is PBX 45. PBX 45 is based off the LWRC International SMG 45, and it has some inspiration from the UMP 45 as well, because it's using the UMP magazines. Performance in game is pretty standard, theme we see with all the original guns. It's a decent fire rate, but low damage, especially at ranges above 50 meters. You can use subsonic rounds, although interestingly, the wiki states the velocity is 400 meters per second, which is still supersonic as the speed of sound is about 340 meters per second. So this gun is so average that I would say it deserves a spot in C tier, where it belongs. Next, PP29, which is the early game bullet hose. It's unlocked at level 18, and it has decent fire rate, 700 RPM. The real advantage is the massive magazine, and it should really probably be counted as a machine gun. 64 round magazine is impressive, and the reload is really fast, making this one of the best bullet hoses in the game. However, the damage fall off is massive, losing almost half of its damage at 75 meters. Time to kill is fast, but nothing crazy for the category. This gun is well designed, being based off the real PP19, and so I would say it's just above average, and it deserves a spot in the B tier. Alright, up next is MP9. This gun's unlocked at level 36, so by that time you should probably have unlocked better guns. The model is good, being based off the real MP9. The only good characteristics of this gun, however, fire rate, magazine, 900 RPM with close combat rounds, and a 50 round drum. However, the abysmal velocity of 395 meters per second and a terrible damage past 50 meters make this gun locked into CQB. It boasts an acceptable time to kill of 0.2 seconds minimum to 0.4 seconds within 50 meters. It's so average as well, pretty average SMG, so I'd say it goes in C tier. Finally, an exceptional SMG, we get to the K30. It boasts an extreme 1100 RPM at fully automatic, which is one of the highest in the game, but it suffers from a small magazine and low damage. Damage drops from 18 to 13 at 50 meters, but stays constant after that. With a minimum of 0.2 to 0.4 seconds time to kill, this gun is the same as the MP9, but the higher fire rate and faster ADS time puts it ahead. Ridiculously, this gun has a 2-round burst, which nobody in their right mind would ever use. K30 has almost no recoil and a decently fast reload. This gun's well modeled, being based off the Chris Vector. It deserves a spot in A tier, because in my opinion, best SMG. Next, AC9 SMG that I never found to use. I'm gonna have to look up what the AC9 is, because I forgot what it looks like. But the AC9, it's just so pathetic. It looks small and weak, but the looks are deceiving because this gun has 1080 RPMs, just under the Vector, with fast reload. But unfortunately, it also has small magazines, with the highest being only a 40 rounder. This gun goes from 22 damage to 13 at just 50 meters, and time to kill drops from 0.2 to 0.4 seconds. This gun deserves a spot in B tier, in my opinion, just above the PP29. Whoops, I moved the wrong one. For final SMG, we have the SCZ3, which is more like a rifle than an SMG. It's a fantasy gun, so I do not know what it is based off of. It seems to be based off the MPX, but that's only a guess. Its rate of fire is 880, so pretty low for the SMGs, but has the option of a 50-round drum. It has significantly longer reload time than the other SMGs at about half a second. The gun delivers 22 to 16 damage at 50 meters with a 0.3 to 0.4 second time to kill. It's worse than all of the other SMGs with no redeeming qualities. Why not use any other SMG and get more of any quality you want? This gun excels in nothing and deserves its fate in F tier simply because there's no reason to use this particular gun. Up next, we have our first pistol, which is a pretty standard one. G57 is your average pistol, obviously based off the Glock. The magazine is very good for a pistol with max 35 rounds, and the highlight of the gun is 3-round burst capability. The low 355 meters per second velocity of the round and hollow damage at range make this gun CQB only. I was trying to unlock another gun, and getting kills past 30 meters was pretty difficult. Damage drops from 24 to 18 at only 40 meters. Time to kill on the Glock 57 though is pretty good for the pistol category, only 0.5, 0.7 seconds. This pistol is decent, but it's nothing special. So that's why I think it belongs in the C tier, because, you know, it's a pretty average gun. Next pistol on our list is the MP28, which is what happens when you try to turn a pistol into a DMR. Low fire rate of 450 RPM and small magazines with a maximum of 25 rounds, this gun is very bad in CQB and doesn't get much better at long ranges. Time to kill is shorter than the Glock 57 at 0.3 to 0.5 seconds, and damage goes from 28 to 24 at 50 meters. So not much, but the real problem I have with this gun is why would I use it when there are better options for CQB and long range? The battle pistols outclass it in pretty much every category. This gun deserves an eternity in F tier. The next gun on our list is the M44, which is the best and only revolver in the game if you are not counting the ones from Battlefield 3. As a single action revolver, this gun makes you feel like you're back in the 1800s, except for the advanced optics, of course. The 6-round cylinder does not leave any room for error. Missing shots basically guarantees doom. The hip fire in this gun is so bad, you have to aim, because the bullet will vanish into the 5th dimension if you're hip firing at range. However, the main selling point is the one-shot kill to the head, so I recommend mounting the 4X and popping heads. You can combine it with the NTW50 for a truly lethal combination. You can use this pistol to destroy vehicles with AP, which I thought was a joke, but no, you need to do it to unlock the BFP50. So in summary, this was my favorite pistol, because one-shotting to the head was very funny. Easy S tier. Next pistol is what happens when a P90 and a 5.7 have a baby. Apparently there were complications at birth. Existing is so ugly it could kill people with looks alone. Anyways, PF51 is just as bad performance-wise, taking 7 shots to kill at point-blank range and with damage fall-off of 15 to 13 at 10 meters. The only redemption for this gun is the large magazine. It goes in D tier. Like, why would I use it? Now for a change, we have a futuristic pistol, not one from the past. This pistol is for some reason shoots slower in burst than semi-automatic, and it is not advised to burst. Maximum 19 round magazine, this gun is not best for CQB. However, it is a good backup, doing 28-22 damage at 30 meters with a time to kill of 0.3 to 0.5 seconds. I would have put it in A tier, but the gun has no moving slide when firing, and it's a bullpup pistol. I don't think this gun would work, but it's a fantasy pistol, so I'll put it down by 1 in the B tier. D tier, sorry. Now we're moving on to the shotguns. Just kidding, we're still in pistols. This one right here, it is a pistol that requires both hands and seems to be the same gun as the short-barreled shotgun in Battlefield 4. The Super 500 has good hip fire accuracy, because who needs to aim anyways? The Super 500, it's pump action, however, so the fire rate is not that good. The reload takes almost 2 seconds for just 1 shell, and it only holds 3 total. Damage drops from 18 to 10 at 30 meters, but there are 11 pellets, so you can use flechette as well, but it's just long-range buckshot. The slugs aren't even a one-shot. This gun is so average, but not even worth having as a secondary. It belongs in the D tier. Now for a truly amazing pistol, the BFP50. This pistol uses the same bullets and takes inspiration from the legendary Desert Eagle. The 50 AE high power does 75 damage at 20 meters, dropping to 35 at 50 meters, giving it a maximum range of 49 meters before the damage starts collapsing. Time to kill is an amazing 0.2 to 0.5 seconds within 100 meters. But the recoil is so high, you will probably need to reacquire whatever you're shooting at. 7-round magazine has a 3-second long reload, so use your ammo sparingly. This gun's basically a CQB M44, and I am all for it S tier. For our last pistol, we have the L9CZ. This gun looks to be inspired by the Glock and the Russian MP443. This gun has similar performance to MP28 with 450 RPM and semi-automatic and a maximum 20 round magazine. With very low velocity and fast drop-off, this gun is CQB only. Its damage starts strong at 28, dropping to only 18 at just 50 meters. Time to kill is 0.4 to 0.8 seconds, and I do not know why you would use this gun when you unlock the Glock at the start. F tier, useless. I would rather use the Glock. Now onto the sniper rifles. We start with the SWS-10. This gun is based off the Finnish Sako TRG M10, and if you've never heard of it, me neither. Can use 7.62 by 51, 300 Winchester Magnum, and 3.38 Lapua Magnum by only changing the bolt, magazine, forends, and barrels, according to the wiki. As a default weapon, it is not special. It's designed to make you want to unlock better guns. The damage is good, doing 75 damage to 75 meters with standard issue, and 60 damage to 150 meters. Fire rate's very good for a sniper, 60 RPM. Maximum capacity is maximum 12 using standard issue. Velocity is good, but not ideal for long range shots. There is a problem with all the guns in general. Muzzle velocity is just way too low for most of them. There is a 3 times damage multiplier for headshots, so you can one tap to the head even at long range. B tier though, because you get better snipers later on, but it's not that bad, you know. Speaking of better snipers, we move on to the DXR-1, and it is just a copy of the DSR-1 from real life. It is a bullpup sniper, which is used by the Germans, and again, available several calibers. Front-mounted magazine holder is pretty dumb in my opinion. What a waste of mass. Your character magically replaces the front magazine while you aren't watching, apparently, because it always works for partial reloads. It's slightly slower than the SWS-10 with 50 RPM instead of 60, and a marginally smaller magazine with 11 rounds. But the trade-off is massive, with an obscene muzzle velocity of 1,000 meters per second, one of the highest in the game, and there's almost no drop-off within hundreds of meters. It is a one-shot to the head, and the best normal sniper. So I think for those reasons, it belongs in A tier. Now onto a sniper that isn't really a sniper, NTW-50. This behemoth is based on the NTW-20, which is an anti-material rifle from South Africa. The NTW-20 shoots 20mm rounds and weighs 30 kilograms. No way can your character carry this thing around, and certainly not ADS while walking. This gun is so heavy that it is inconceivable to bring with you, but I guess in Battlefield it just works. I don't even know what caliber this gun would be, as the real NTW-20 was obviously in 20mm, so the NTW-50 should be 50mm, but this barrel is way too short for that. 50 cal would not penetrate the frontal armor of a futuristic MBT, so 20mm makes the most sense for me, because there's no way that it could be a 50mm, although barrel is still too short for 20. Anyway, performance is astounding, with one-shot kills to the body within 100 meters. Maximum magazine capacity, though, is only 4 rounds, plus 1 in the chamber. Fire rate's only 25 RPM. Partial reload is 4.16 seconds, which is the longest in the game. Velocity is only 600 meters per second, so bullet drop is quite severe. But this gun is just so satisfying, it's gotta go in S tier. There's no way I could give this gun any lower. Now onto the final sniper rifle, we have the XCE Bar. This is a bullpup sniper based on the TTS X-Seed. It's a speedy sniper rifle, but this is not obvious at first, with 60 RPM and 5-round magazine. But the real benefits are the 2-second reload and the very fast ADS speed. This makes it the quick shot headshot champion. This gun goes in B tier, just next to the SWS, because they're basically the same. Alright, sniper rifles all got pretty high ranks. Let's check out the Marksman rifles. First DMR is the DM7, which is just 5.56 AR-15. This gun is not special and it's very average. There's not much to say about it. It has 300 RPM fire rate, maximum 15 rounds for standard issue, 3-second reload. Velocity and damage are good at range, with 1 shot to the body, 1 shot to the head, killing within 100 meters. But it goes in C tier because it is not special. Next, SVK, which is another multi-caliber weapon. This time, though, it's Russian. This gun was nerfed pretty hard early on because it was a two-shot kill to the body at only level 14. It had a 15-round max magazine and a reload time of about 3 seconds. Velocity is extremely good, 960 meters per second, but damage drops off from 60 to 35 at 125 meters. This gun does 96 damage to the head, so if you breathe lightly on your prey, they will die. Still pretty good for finishing guys off. It's back to being a two-shot to the body, which is pretty good. This gun goes in the A tier because it's two-shot potential, but just why not use the NTW50, which is one-shot potential. Next up is the VCAR. I hate this gun. It is way too small to be a DMR. This thing is based off the CMR 30 by Keltec, which uses .22 rounds, and there is no way this would kill a man like the VCAR does. It looks like the VCAR uses 9mm or something larger because the magazine is too big for 22. It has the second highest rate of fire of the DMRs at 400 RPM using close combat rounds with a maximum magazine of 40 rounds. It does 35 to 22 damage at 50 meters with a theoretical time to kill of 0.3 to 0.5 seconds. This gun is so ugly and not as good as the next gun, so I don't know why anyone would use it. It belongs in the F tier. Alright, next is the BSV-M, which is basically a VSS with a black skin slapped on. It's the only DMR with fully automatic fire, although this is pretty slow at only 400 RPM with high power, but close combat rounds double it to 800 RPM. The magazine can hold 30 rounds of close combat or 20 rounds of high power. Velocity of 790 meters per second definitely exceeds the speed of sound, so I don't know what they were thinking with that. Time to kill is very short at 0.3 to 0.5 seconds, and it does 35 to 26 damage at 50 meters. This gun is the CQB DMR, and that puts it firmly in S tier. For the final DMR, we have the G428, which is the other automatic DMR, but it was just added and I'm not changing the script. It has a low magazine with only 20 rounds max, but a quick reload at 2.4 to 2.6 seconds. The fire rate is only 280 RPM, which sucks, so I don't bother using it. The high power velocity is somehow 1,125 meters per second, while standard issue is 965 meters per second. Again, the subsonic goes over the speed of sound at a shocking 845 meters per second. Damage is not great though, dropping from 60 to 35 at just 50 meters, but time to kill is the shortest of the DMRs at 0.2 to 0.4 seconds. This gun is average and belongs in C tier. It's honestly not that bad, but the reload speed kind of holds it back with only 20 round magazine. Now, onto the tactical weapons. We start with a pretty classic shotgun. MCS 880 is a pretty basic pump-action shotgun, but it's not very good in Battlefield. Reload time is not bad, but not as good as the magazine-fed weapons. So while your character is loading one shell at a time, your opponent has already reloaded 30 rounds. You fire 10 pellets, which lose 50% of their damage past 20 meters, going from 15 to 5 damage at 50 meters. Time to kill is 0, which is the fastest I've seen so far, but only if you hit every pellet. This gun is pretty bad, but at least it can be fun sometimes. It should go in the D tier, where it belongs. For our next shotgun, we have the 12M Auto, which is just a Saiga 12 if it was fully automatic. The flechette is literally the same as buckshot, dealing just slightly more damage. I recommend using the 8-round mags because with the drum you only get one spare. Reloads are 3 to 3.5 seconds, and the range is abysmal, dropping off from 15 to 6 at 50 meters, but you get 8 pellets. This gun is my preferred weapon for CQB and belongs in A tier, in my expert opinion. For a more futuristic shotgun, we have the NVK S22, based on the real DP12 bullpup. Interestingly, you load it from the stock, but the bullpup design doesn't do much help you in game. Performance is basically the same as the Saiga, dealing 16 to 6 damage at 50 meters with 8 pellets. The magazine is always 10 rounds, and time to kill can be 0. It's semi-automatic, which is nice, with 300 RPM fire rate. This gun belongs in B tier. It's decent, but why wouldn't I just use Saiga? Next we have a classic, the GVT 4570. This rifle is a lever action rifle based on the real Marlin Model 336. And I thought it was a shotgun because I wasn't paying attention until I read the wiki for this video. It fires high power, dealing 60 damage to 139 meters and then 35 after that. It's lever action with a fire rate of 110 RPM and a pretty slow reload. This gun can get a one-shot kill at the head at any range, so I recommend using a scope. This gun is good, but it's very old, not suited for the high-speed environment of 2042. It goes in C tier. Next tactical weapon, we have a meme itself. Ghostmaker R10 is just a crossbow, so it's totally a meme. You can even load explosive bolts, but they suck. You can somehow use a magazine to feed the crossbow, enhancing the meme. This gun does 110 damage within 30 meters, dropping to 60 at 50 meters and 35 at 75 meters. This gun has transitions and damage between distances, not a hard drop off. The Ghostmaker is a one tap to the head and very satisfying. It belongs in meme tier, S tier. This is a final tactical weapon, and when I saw this, I thought it would be amazing, as it is a futuristic railgun. This gun is obviously not based on any real weapon, but looks very bulky and cumbersome. Imagine hauling this hunk around all day. Unfortunately, the gun failed to deliver due to the charge-up delay. Why does my gun need a charge? I thought I just put in a battery. How slow is the speed of light to you? I guess since the guns can change the speed of sound, they decided why not slow down the speed of light. This gun requires swapping the underbarrel to change fire modes, and I would not like carrying around 3 sets of batteries, but your character is a real Chad and does it anyways. This gun has a decent fire rate of 700 RPM with a 20 round magazine. It's a fast one to reload at 1.8 seconds. This is where the advantages end. Its time to kill is 1.1 to 2.2 seconds, which is the worst I have seen in the game. Damage with high power, semi-automatic, is 80 at 199 meters. And the full auto mode is only 28 at 49 meters, dropping to 22. I like the idea, but the execution is just terrible. F tier. Finally, onto the assault rifles, starting with the M5A3, which is a pretty standard futuristic M4. The wiki says it's based on the MCX Spear, which fires 6.8 by 51. As a default rifle, it's pretty boring and standard. It has easy recoil and 750 RPM of fire rate. Maximum magazine is 40 rounds of standard issue, and the reload is 2.29 seconds, even when empty. Damage goes from 22 at 29 meters to 18 at 74 meters and 15 beyond that. Time to kill is 0.3 to 0.5 seconds. This gun is so average that it belongs in C tier. AK-24 is pretty obviously just a futuristic AK-12. It does basically the exact same design with just a few changes such as the muzzle brake and grip. It does basically the same damage as the M5A3, dealing 26 at 9 meters, falling to 22 at 74 meters, and 18 at all other ranges. Fire rate is also basically the same at 650 RPM. The one advantage is the 50 round drum, and when combined with Assault class, you gain 3 extra magazines, and it can be quite the bullet hose. Reloading is 2.3 to 2.7 seconds. Time to kill is 0.3 to 0.5 seconds, same as the M5. The AK-24 is only slightly better than the M5A3, so it earns a spot at the very bottom of B tier. Now onto the Safar MGL, which obviously takes extreme inspiration from this car. You cannot change the underbarrel because there is always a grenade launcher, which I think is a bad idea, but you can change the grenade. It has a moderate fire rate of 600 RPM using high power, but can only hold 40 rounds of high power. Reload is 2.5 to 3.7 seconds, and the drop-off is simple, falling from 28 damage at 49 meters to 22. For some reason, these bullets choose to defy the laws of physics and fall at 12 meters per second instead of 9.8. For this reason alone, I'm holding this gun back to C tier. You cannot break the laws of physics on this channel. We do not approve. Speaking of guns that defy the laws of physics, we move on to the AC-42. This is a burst bullpup, which is better than the M5A3 in almost every regard. Firing standard issue, it has 1,200 RPM, and the magazine holds 39 rounds max. Interestingly, all magazines are divisible by 3. Now onto the fun part. This gun does and simultaneously does not have a chamber. When empty, you cock the gun, and it is clearly not an open bolt. You must be loading the chamber, right? Well, no, because the gun always reloads 39. This is probably the developer's way of making sure it's always divisible by 3. I'll just say it's sci-fi magic and move on because the other stats are remarkable. Although velocity is only 620 meters per second, this gun manages to squeeze out a lot of damage at distance. Damage drops from 28 at 29 meters to 22 at 74 meters to 15 at 150 meters. Time to kill is good at 0.2 to 0.5 seconds. This gun should have been S tier, but because it defies laws of physics, it is held back to A tier. Ooh, that was a long one. Now onto the AM40, which is a lefty's dream. This gun is basically an SMG with a high fire rate at 850 RPM while holding a maximum of 40 rounds. The reload is also very fast at 1.7 to 2.2 seconds. Damage at range is not ideal as it drops from 26 to 22 after just 10 meters and then to 18 at 40 meters, finally dropping to 15 at 75 meters. Time to kill is fast at 0.2 to 0.5 seconds. This gun belongs in C tier because it is so average. Now on to another rifle, the RM68. It uses 6.8mm polymer cased ammo and is based on the RM277, which lost in the future weapons competition to the previously mentioned MCX Spear, aka M5A3. I don't know why the devs used a failed design in this game, but I am not them. Anyways, this gun is integrally suppressed like the VSS, and has irremovable canted iron sights. It is capable of automatic fire at 620 RPM, maximum magazine of 30 rounds. Reloading takes 2.6 to 2.4 seconds. Interestingly, reloading faster empty. The velocity is very good. High power reaches 1,125 meters per second. Damage with standard issue is good, going from 28 at 29 meters to 22 at 149 meters and 18 after that. Time to kill is 0.3 to 0.5 seconds. This gun is not special, and because it failed in real life, I will put it in D tier. Next is GEW46, which is obviously just a G36 but more futuristic. GEW46 has a fire rate at 700 RPM with high power and maximum magazine of 30 rounds. High power does 28 damage at 19 meters, dropping to 22 damage at 149 meters, dropping to 18 after that. Time to kill is 0.2 to 0.4 seconds. It earns a spot in B tier because it's just above average. Next is a VHX-D3, which is just a copy of the Croatian VHS-K2. It's a bullpup chambered in 5.56x45. It has a fast fire rate of 850 RPM and a maximum magazine capacity of 40 rounds. Reloads are very fast at 1.8 to 2 seconds, while damage drops from 25 at 9 meters to 20 at 39 meters to 15 past 100, with several steps in between. Time to kill ranges from 0.2 to 0.4 seconds. This gun is good, and I think it deserves a spot in the A tier. As this video, I have not found it in my soul to grind the AK5C, but it's basically an M4 using 5.45x39. This gun is a mid-range warrior, having 670 RPM and a maximum of 39 standard issue in a magazine, with 2.4 to 2.3 second reloads. Standard issue retains 22 damage to 74 meters before falling to 20 at 99 and 18 after that. Time to kill is average at 0.4 seconds. Overall, this gun is well made and a good addition to the game. It goes in B tier, maybe higher, but I have not used it yet, so I can't rate it any higher than that for now. Now onto our final section, which are the LMGs. We'll be starting with the LCMG, which is based on the LWAMG from CAC, chambered in 7.62x51. It's unlocked at level 3, and being an early weapon is pretty balanced. Fires at 600 RPM and holds 200 rounds. Damage drops off from 28 at 29 meters to 22 at 99 meters and 18 beyond that. Time to kill is 0.3 to 0.5 seconds. This gun goes in C tier. Next up is the PKP BP, which is just a PKP Pechneg but more futuristic. The choice to use metal links instead of disintegrating is interesting. The fire rate is 800 RPM using high power, and it holds 200 rounds of high power in a magazine. Reloading is very long, taking 6.8 to 7.9 seconds, while dealing 22 damage at 74 meters, 18 damage at 140 meters, and 15 beyond that. While using high power, time to kill is 0.3 to 0.5 seconds. Overall, PKP is better than LCMG in most ways, except that the recoil goes hard to the right with the PKP. I like to use PKP for armor piercing, which it excels at. I will put it in the A tier. From our futuristic machine gun, we have the Avansis, which is a copy of the FN Ephalis. It can use both 7.62x51 and 5.56x45. And it's designed to be very light. The main advantage of the AV-Ansys is the low recoil and high fire rate. It has a fire rate of 750 RPM and a 200 round magazine. The fast reload time for LMGs at 5.7 to 5.9 seconds. Damage drops off from 22 at 74 meters to 18 beyond, and time to kill is 0.3 to 0.4 seconds. This gun definitely goes in B tier. It's good, but there's a lot of specialization to be done. It's the M5 of the LMGs. Now we can look at the peak of the machine guns, the RPT-31. This is the best machine gun and has the fastest reload speed. It fires high power at 600 RPM while holding 200 rounds maximum. It does 28 damage within 29 meters, dropping to 22 within 99 meters, dropping to 18 within 149 meters, finally dropping to 15 past 150 meters. Reload speed is only 4.8 to 5.3 seconds, while time to kill is 0.3 to 0.6. This gun goes in the S tier. It's definitely the best LMG. For our final gun, it's the DFR Strife, which is what happens when an M4 drinks too much at a party and accidentally gets a machine gun pregnant. It features a side charging handle and the ability to use belt and box magazines. It's capable of automatic fire at 770 RPM and holding a maximum of 90 rounds of standard issue. Damage drops from 23 at 29 meters to 20 at 74 meters to 18 at 149 meters and 17 beyond that. This gun goes in D tier because there are better box-fed and belt-fed guns. This gun is truly cursed. Well, that's it for this video. Thank you for sticking around until the end. Hopefully my next video will not take as long to make as this one. The script is already over 5,000 words, so I will save specialist vehicles and utilities for later. See ya.